Crypto presents exciting new opportunities for the investment-minded, but it's also volatile and accelerating in complexity. That's why we created Token Metrics, an intelligent crypto platform backed by an industry-leading combination of data, AI, and media that feeds optimized portfolios to crypto investors. Featuring Token Metrics ratings to help you find the best investment opportunities in real time, an indices page that showcases various model portfolios, and deep insights into price predictions and technical analysis. Plus, with access to Token Metrics TV, monitor 24/7 exclusive crypto news and analysis. Whether you're a first-time trader or a seasoned crypto investor, you can stay informed and in control, backed by your all-in-one crypto companion, Token Metrics.
We are live. This is the market update, the bull market update. I'm your host, Bill Noble. This stream is brought to you by tokenmetrics.com. If you need a roadmap in crypto and you need to make money in crypto, subscribe to this channel. Turn on alerts so you know when we're going live. And if you like the content, please smash the like button. All right. So we don't have anybody on the stream yet. All right. Everybody's too busy off buying everything that they can get their hands on. All right. Producers, are we still out there? We are on the air, right? All right. So let's kick into the news. Let's see where we are. All right, folks, we're going to pull up the news here. Okay, so there are people watching live. Welcome. All right, I am going to pull up the news right now. All right, people, let's talk about the news. Okay, Lido Finance cuts fees and increases speed with ETH Layer 2 integration. Okay, DeFi is not dead yet. All right, 320 NFTs were stolen, 400K in ETH taken from an NFT hack. Hackers sent the funds to Tornado Cash to wipe out the trail of blockchain transactions. So let me tell you why this is awful. I hate it when privacy like Tornado Cash gets used in these hacks. I believe that you will never do a transaction in the metaverse without a privacy coin. Thank God they use Tornado Cash and not my personal favorite, Zcash. All right. Bankrupt Three Arrows Capital owns $3.5 billion to creditors. Okay. So over 67% of Three Arrows Capital multi-billion-dollar debt is actually owed to one creditor. Okay. This creditor's loans to Three Arrows Capital had a margin requirement of 80%, and it sold collateral when Three Arrows Capital failed to maintain that, later seeking repayment of the outstanding debt through arbitration in New York. Okay. So the founders of Three Arrows Capital were also investors. So Kyle Davies is owed $65 million, and the other founder is owed $5 million, okay, which could be very interesting to see if they ever get their money back. Now, what is the takeaway from this news? Perhaps all of the selling that needed to be done to liquidate Three Arrows Capital has already happened. Now, of course, you can tell that by the way the market is moving, all right? Because why? Because longtime stream fans will know that when I talked about this ending, when the forced selling was over, what do you get? Well, they force. And then when that's over, right? Who's left to sell? Nobody. Nobody. It's gone. And that's what's happening now. It's an absence of forced selling, and it could be forced buying. In other words, hedge funds pulled all of their money off centralized exchanges, put it in custody, right? Because they didn't want to be subject to withdrawal limits or withdrawal suspension. So they all not only left the exchanges, they left the whole market. Now they've all got to come piling back in, right? And I think Bitcoin may be the next big mover. We'll go into what we think the big movers are in a minute. Okay, finally, Putin bans crypto payments in Russia, okay, amid claims that they're behind a huge surge in pyramid schemes. Wow. The Russian president accusing other people of lying. Now, of course, there are scams in crypto, okay, but the president's move doesn't mean digital assets cannot be used to acquire goods and services and products across the country. So I guess he's banning crypto as payment systems, but not telling you can't shop with crypto. Okay, interesting. Interesting that Mr. Putin is all of a sudden concerned about the well-being of his citizens, which are currently suffering from a 25% contraction in GDP as a result of sanctions. Believe it or not, my heart actually goes out to those people because they didn't make the decision. They didn't make the decisions that may be hurting them. But I am glad that if those people, any people, whether they're enemies of the United States or not, any people out there that can use crypto to help themselves, well, you know what? Good for them. Seriously. Because there are no nationalities. You know, there is no race, creed, color, nationality in crypto. We are all crypto brothers and sisters. Okay, with that, let's switch over to your market update. Okay, so apologies out there. We've got some technical difficulties. I'm not able to see all of your comments, but I definitely appreciate everybody who's here. I bet our friends from London, Arizona, right? New York, New Jersey, right? Boston comes in. Okay, all our friends from over in Asia as well, especially if you're up in the middle of the night. We appreciate you. So let's kick in to your market update. Okay, little something I learned at Goldman Sachs, right? I remember talking about the cardinal sin of missing bottoms. So if you've been on the stream, if you were there Thursday and Friday, right, now it's time to buy breakouts, right? Buy as it's breaking out. I'm going to show you how to do that with charts and token metrics. First thing to note, as of this morning, only 8% of big token metrics coins were above their 60-day exponential moving average. Okay, this means that this market earlier today had so far to rally, right? It could rally far enough to get to its 60-day exponential moving average. So what does that mean? That means the market still has room to rally in order to get back up like a short-term average, like where it's been over the last 60 days. And it can rally even farther if it gets to its 200-day exponential moving average. I'll show some of those charts. So this needle's probably going to go from 8 to 40, and it's probably going to go from 40 to 100. In other words, any coin you're looking at, you want to know where the 60 and 200-day moving averages. Headed into today, the market was still oversold. This is like our version of fear greed, except it doesn't move fast. But I've been watching this and I've been showing it to you, right, as an indication that, hey, this is oversold. And if forced buying comes in, right, this thing's just going to, these coins, they're going to smoke to their moving averages. So again, the power of the token metrics markets page. Now let's go to DeMark. So this is Ethereum weekly. it seems obvious that ETH was outside of some support bands. The next resistance is at 1706. So I would expect ETH to go right to 1706, particularly since it dipped 3% and then came back. Also with big brother Bitcoin take it off. Okay. There's a DeMark level at 2478 if you're wondering how far this could go. Now let's talk about Bitcoin. Okay. Bitcoin has been just destroyed, right? And there are DeMark confirmed bottoms, right? So here's a 9 bottom. Here's a 13 bottom. As we said last week, right? Last week confirmed the 13 bottom. So just because you have a 13 and a 9 on a chart doesn't automatically mean a bottom. By the way, what's a 13 or a 9? Well, it just means that you can, a certain set of conditions has appeared. Like, I don't know, the low is lower than the low 2 weeks ago. So when you get these counts at a 9, 9 conditions have been met or 13 conditions have been met, right? Then the signal for a possible reversal occurs. Now, when does the reversal occur? When these things that count 1 through 9, when they start to count the other way. Last week on Friday, I'm like, hey, this is a confirmed bottom. Okay. And obviously, you're seeing the benefits of that price action already this week. Now, if Bitcoin is above 22,300, I don't see any reason. I got a couple levels, but Bitcoin could go as high as 41. That's the target that Tom DeMark himself is talking about, like 40-ish. All right. Now, coming back to something that we have been pounding the table about is a comparison between this crypto market, which was like down only for months, comparing that to 2014, which was the last incident of virtually down only. We drew a comparison by saying we were at a point when we compared then to now where there could be a monster spike. It could last a week. It could last a couple of months. In the 2014 case, it happened all in 1 week. So from the low of one candle where the down move stopped, not the absolute bottom, but right before the squeeze, the low, right, measured from there all the way up to the top of the squeeze was an 80% rally in Bitcoin. That's this huge blue candle here. So you're listening to me and going, wait a minute, Bill, are you saying that back in 2014 that when the market went up, when there was a squeeze in a down-only market, that Bitcoin went up 80%? I'm like, yes, that's what I'm telling you. So you may be looking at your screen going, oh, I can't buy this up 4%, or I can't buy this up 10%. Well, this reminds me of like the bottom in 2008 when Kramer told everybody, don't look at percentage gains. Don't say, oh, it's up 20% from the low, I can't buy it. Because this is not the kind of market that we're in right now. So if this lasts a week or it lasts a month, right, it's a market where you want to buy breakouts. So if it's up 4%, it's probably a better buy, especially if it's above resistance. We'll go into that later. So don't underestimate what can happen this week, and don't underestimate what can happen probably for the rest of this quarter. Because I've also been just pounding the table, right, on NFTs, metaverse land, and art. I've been just ballistic on this. I mean, can you imagine if when I was talking about this and ETH was at 1,100, if you had used that ETH to hoover up some NFTs, right? And the NFT market has huge upside. Now, it's not going to be crazy like it was last time where people are just out buying any JPEG for sport. But if you're a bigger player, NFTs and art are going to go up for the rest of the year, in my opinion, not investment advice. Okay, let's take a look at the 2014 example. The blue lines are the weekly chart, and then the regular candles are just what's happening now. So can you imagine if this is Bitcoin? I mean, if Bitcoin does what it did back then and goes up 80%, you're looking at 33K. And anybody who knows anything about crypto knows that, if Bitcoin or any other Bitcoin, if it wants to go there, it could just go. It could go this week. It could go this month. Don't underestimate what this market can do. Don't. Okay. This is what happens when you have down only, then you can turn around and have up only when the forced selling is over. Now let's talk about ETH. ETH is underperforming today after 2 days of massive outperformance. The Pi cycle bottom came in, right? And as we like to joke in equities, it's like, when it's going down, you own too much. When it's going up, you don't own enough. I was like, wow, I was bullish. I don't think I was bullish enough, right? Right now, ETH is taking out its 60-day exponential moving average. That's the red line over here, right? Now, the 200-day exponential moving average is at 2,200. So there's like a couple DeMark points, right? There's 1,700. There's 2,200. There's 2,400. Now, as an example, not necessarily looking to go after MATIC here, but this is our visual trends indicator. So we have this for every. So what happens, green? What happens when you get a signal through? Almost in some cases, okay? That's a sign of a real trend, right? I don't have saw in July of last year, where once the thing went green, it just went. So if using our site to get alerts when these visual trend indicators go green. So, that kind of. Now back to big coins. Avalanche, okay, forced selling, okay, so down only, and then they press it lower, and then what happens when they their arms get tired? They just go, and the market goes. Whoosh. I mean, if Avalanche takes out the 60-day moving average at 24, you could be looking at 48. Solana is already above its 60-day moving average. I have 80 for the next moving average, right? In other words, you're like, Bill, why are you looking at moving averages? Well, it's just mean reversion. So if you say, all right, where is the average price for Solana in the last year? And where is it today? So why can't this whole market just sort of like go, okay, we had this oh my God moment, and everybody thinks Fed rate hikes are going to get unwound next year. I don't know if that's right or not. That's the trade and the mindset everyone's doing. So, okay, why can't we just take crypto back to some sort of average price and then, review GBTC? Now, I know that this is, not going to get approved as an ETF. I know that this trades at a 30% discount to, its ETF counterpart. So these guys kind of got hosed because they spot ETF, but equity market product that's available, obviously, to stock market players, and that, they are very used to buying. And if you look at this, even with Bitcoin up 5% today, look at this gigantic gap that hasn't been filled yet at 18. Equity market people are going to go, oh, gee, this is cute. This looks like a bottom. I'm going to pay 15. I'm going to pay 22, 20, like in Bitcoin terms. I'm going to pay 22, 23, 26 because GBTC is going to go to 18, then 22, and then 27. Right? So if equity market players start piling in to all these different futures contracts, ETFs, and equity market products, they don't care that Bitcoin's 10% off their lows. They don't care that, they missed ETH at 1,000. They're going to go, oh, wow, this could go up a lot, right? Because equity market players love it when they can buy stuff when it's down. So those guys could be coming. Then when you look at Bitcoin, you've got a repeat of the July bottom from last year. We went over this, right? The summer solstice, right? Around June 30th, market goes down, and then the market consolidates or slumps for 30 days, looks terrible, And then all of a sudden, it's up only. Like if you look over here in like the middle left, when this thing bottomed, right, in July, it was up only. Up only. And then it like went down for 3 days, and then it went back to up only. It was a little slower on the way up, but, you know, this is just straight up. Straight up. And Bitcoin's just getting started. Like we had a quant point at like, I don't know, I think it was like 22 or 23. It just went through that. You know, we're looking for 24 or 27 minimum. Okay, again, this is the 2014 chart. Okay, so this was the huge wick down and then all the way back up. That's a 2-week move of 80%. Okay, avalanche on a daily chart. Okay, actually, avalanche on a weekly chart. Sorry about the typo. So avalanche did a 9 bottom. It went back to where it was in July of last year. It sat here in the bottom right-hand corner for, I don't know, 5 weeks. And now it's counting the other direction. And the DeMark point that could be relevant is 81. Now you're like, Bill, that's completely insane. Well, a lot of people thought it was completely insane when I told them to get out of the market in April. Now what I'm telling you is this thing could get, like they could do it in a day, a week, a month, right? I mean, this is like a buying panic in the other direction. Okay, ETH, there are levels around 1,500 and 1,700. That's the weekly chart. Sorry about the label. Okay. Also, we have ETH on the weekly chart at 1706. Solana. So we had Solana price prediction in the title. Let me ask you just a quick question. So you got a 13 and a 9 bottom in Solana. Okay. You also have the DeMark 0 signal. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Solana, but this Solana chart, in my mind, is ridiculously bullish, right? I mean, our work shows that if we take out 58, this came from like a the Token Metrics quant page, which I'll try and demo in a minute. But there's nobody home here on the DeMark work until 110. That's just that's it, right? I mean, Solana was at 110 when this thing started in April. So it was down only, and it reminds me of high school physics. Speed, magnitude, and direction. What goes down a certain way goes back up the same way. Cosmos. Okay, we're also looking at Polkadot, but I'm showing Cosmos today. So Cosmos started off the year at 45. We liked it. They marked it down to 5. So nice of them. They doubled it. It went to 10, and nobody thinks they can buy it, but they probably can because it could go to 26. Why? Well, I don't know. That's kind of like where it's been over the last, say, 12 months. It's a DeMark point, but why can't Cosmos go to 26? If we had forced selling, which is followed by forced buying, it'll just find a new level and reset. People are like, oh, the market's going back down. Everything's a disaster. Yeah, maybe. But that's not going to be until after hedge funds get done piling in. And there's probably, because again, this Fed rate hike is just like assumed. Everyone's like, oh, okay, well, the bad news is out. There's no negative catalyst. So let's buy it. Okay, Cardano. This could be next. Like, timestamp that. I didn't put XRP in here, but XRP could also be next. Like, I'm watching Cardano take out 50 cents here, and Cardano is starting to count the other way. I don't know if you can see that little 1, right? But you get it up close this week in Cardano above 50 cents, this thing could go to $1. No problem. And I know that there are a lot of things to be critical about Cardano, right? But I just remember the Cardano booth at Consensus. And I swear to God, you couldn't even get into it. It was like this kind of like a mini lounge area. And I remember BitBoy talking about his Cardano. He interviewed the chief guy at Cardano. And he said, I love talking to this guy because everything he says about his project, he believes. He believes in his project, which is, I don't know, to me, that's kind of impressive, right? I know BitBoy's background, right? I know he comes, you know, he values, I guess I would say, honesty and genuineness in a person, right? So I'm looking at this chart and I'm like, I wonder if Cardano is the next surprise. Like first it was ETH, then it's going to be Bitcoin, and then it's either going to be Cardano, Polkadot, or XRP. And that is the market update. All right. So let's get over to live TA. All right. Because there's so much stuff to talk about. It's hard to know where to begin. Okay, so let's start with token metrics. This is our ratings page, which I have filtered by market cap. So basically, as you can see, Bitcoin, Ethereum, these are all the big coins. Okay. And generally speaking, it's constructive when the token metrics grade goes above 80. Okay? Also of interest, okay, can be grades that are low that may catch up. Okay. So notice Bitcoin's token metrics grade is at 54. ETH is at 84. So either ETH is overdone or big brother Bitcoin's got to catch up. Look at Cardano. Cardano is at 53. Solana is at 85. Polkadot is at 54. Okay, again, we're reading this left column with the grades. So someone explained to me how Polkadot can have a lower score than Sheep. Avalanche is at 85. Now, again, the scores above 80 can mean, you know, again, more upside is coming. How much more upside? Well, look at the, you know, trading signal. See this column over here, right? The trading signal is the visual trends indicator. Remember I showed you MATIC with the green dot? So as of now, the only indicator, right, for our momentum AI-based trading system, the only big coin that's turned up so far is MATIC. So, and again, folks, we're not the only ones who look at these things. We give them to you, the retail audience, because we want to give, this was a token metrics theme a long time ago. We want to give you hedge fund analytics or commodity trading or CTA analytics in a retail product. So what is going to happen in this market when all of these trading signals, when all these momentum indicators, they'll go positive? It's like upside feeds more upside. And that's what we've been saying for a while, right? This whole stream, we've been like, you know what? Buy the breakout, because if it starts going up, it's going to keep going up. Now, this is the large cap section. I just filtered it by that. You can look at, you know, just the top rated coins. I saved that for the customers. Okay. But you can look at all the grades and see all the coins. And you can even set Telegram alerts for when this visual trends indicator goes bullish. So let's take a look at Avalanche, right, on the token metrics TA. So as you can see with Avalanche, the grade has mooned, but price has not, right? This, I mean, we are looking at this. This is what we do for a living. We help you by having the AI grade move before price does. Now you're like, Bill, Avalanche is up, I don't know, 30%. Who cares? Not investment advice, but who cares, right? When the grade moons, the price moons, and how high this goes, I think people have like lost their bullish imagination. That's how I would describe it, right? The bear market left such a scar that people have lost their bullish imagination. So actually the visual trends indicator just went positive. So that's the green dot here. So Avalanche has flipped, right? And then if we look at quant support and resistance in Avalanche, so you're going to have to forgive me while I kind of get this set up and drive around a little bit. Okay. Okay, so we're looking at Avalanche, which is right now at 25. Okay, the next support and resistance is like 31. All right, so these things have a lot of room to go up, and Avalanche is going strong buy. So if you're like, well, I don't understand, I don't know what to do now. Like, if the market's up, I missed it, right? I'm out. I can't do this. No. This is what our system is designed to do. It's designed to give you information so that, you know, when the time comes, you can jump in, and those quant support and resistance points, like, you know, internally, we got super bullish ETH when it took out 1208. Okay. Let me see if I can bring that up. Like, you know, in an internal meeting, I was like, when this thing took out 1208, I was like, this is going up. Let me see if I can bring it up. So again, there's the green dot in ETH. So that's all flipping as of today. So which coins are flipping? Tune in. Right? This kind of stuff has been money.
Not sharing screen.
Oh, not sharing screen. Okay, here's ETH. Okay. As soon as ETH took out 1208, this is where we got constructive internally. And it just went, right? It went to 1566, and the next level is probably 1650, right? And we were talking about 1700 before that. And I don't know if you can see this, but around 1700, that's pretty much where ETH broke down from. So if ETH is telling you that it can unwind this, right? If ETH is saying ETH can unwind its down move, then every other coin can do the same, in my opinion. Okay, so let's go back over here and let's like do more live TA. Okay, so let's just go to, like, say, a Bitcoin and Ethereum. Like, let's go to the short-term charts, because I think I've made the point on the dailies and the weeklies, right? So here's the daily Ethereum chart, right? There's the 13. This is what I featured on that Thursday night show with Crypto Keeper, right? Which I think is on our Twitter, Token Metrics Twitter. There's the confirmed bottom, and then it just goes straight up, right? And I'm looking for this everywhere, right? It's the same thing in Bitcoin, right? In other words, there's the 13 bottom, there's the confirmation on the 14th, and this may only be getting started. It could be 26, it could be 27. I think if this thing goes beyond 26, I don't know. I mean, 30 minimum. Okay, here's 90-minute ETH. Okay, so on a very tactical level, ETH has got resistance at 1615. So there's a 13 top here. There was a 13 top over here, right? But it didn't top. Okay, So if ETH, gets a 13 and a 9 and doesn't stop, okay, that's telling you what's going to happen next. Now, ETH may come off. ETH has been massively outperforming, right? Bitcoin, on the other hand, okay, has basically done nothing, right? Like if you look at the range, it's just sitting here, right? And only now is it like leaving the range. So I'm just kind of wondering why everybody is so like not interested in Bitcoin. Like we know I'm interested in Zcash and I don't want to overshill that, right? But like Big Brother is breaking out here. This is a 90-minute chart, and I had this saying when I first started with Token Metrics 3 years ago. The bigger the base, the higher in the space. Okay, and this has been a base now in Bitcoin since the 14th of June. This is a 30-day base on a 90-minute chart where all of this forced liquidation occurred, right? Like the wrapped Bitcoin that Celsius had went into the bankruptcy. It went into some sort of bankruptcy proceeding. It didn't get dumped on the market. So everybody stood down there and hoovered up the 20K Bitcoin. And guess what? The bulls are winning. Because right now, this is on a daily chart. This thing takes out 23.4. It's up only. It's up only. Right? I mean, if we go over to Trading View, right? All right. I said I was going to talk Zcash. So I believe the red line is the 60-day moving average. The 60-day exponential moving average in Zcash is at 74. Zcash is currently at 65. Okay, the 200-day exponential moving average in Zcash is at 109. Zcash is currently at 65. Okay, this is an example of what happens if you get mean reversion. Like, look at this in Solana. The 60-day moving average is at 44.14. Now, maybe Solana's got another 3 days to run before it tops out. But again, if you're talking about a multi-month rally, 80 is possible. So I know everyone's like, okay, Bill, if I pay 46 for Solana and it dips to 40, I'm going to hate you. Wait a minute. You got to see what happens around this average. You might be wondering, where did we get the 60-day exponential moving average from? Our quant guys did a back test to get it. Okay. So if Solana holds, if it breaks out and then holds 44, you could be looking at like material upside. Let's see what kind of upside. Okay, you could be looking at 48. So that may be the target for today, right? That could be the short-term tactical target. But if it's above 44, it brings up another technical analysis idea of a bird on a wire getting ready to fly. So let's sum it up. I appreciate everybody who came on the stream today. I'm sorry I couldn't see all of your comments, right? This is like equities, right? Buy breakouts. I showed you how to use the Token Metrics site, all right? Go use it. Seriously, this is our sweet spot, right? Particularly since everything from a quant point of view is going to turn. If we can see it and you can see it, you can bet the big boys can see it. All right. So the bigger the base, the higher in the space. That's Bitcoin. The bird on a wire getting ready to fly. That could be Solana or Avalanche. Okay. The totally destroyed give up trade, Polkadot, Cosmos. We're even looking at Perp. And I didn't show it, but we're also looking at ApeCoin because we have a video on other deeds, which you should check out, right? And we also think, not investment advice, that, hoovering up some of that, Bored Ape metaverse land may make sense, not investment advice. So think art, think buy breakouts, bird on a wire getting ready to fly, bigger the base, the higher in the space, and of course, your friendly neighborhood token metrics, your friendly neighborhood research house token metrics. All right, folks, that's the abbreviated stream today. The bull is back. Jump in there and get busy. Use smart risk management, but don't doubt yourself on the way up here. So we will see you tomorrow.